Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Maricatani. Welcome back to Matt Chat. Pleased to be joined today by from Penn State University and the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, multiple-time NCAA champion, Hodge Trophy winner, and world team member, Zain Retherford. Zain, thanks for making some time for us today.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So we were talking a little bit off camera just about, how crazy the world is right now. And, everybody's having to adjust. We're all learning how to use Zoom and things like that.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing up there to kind of, stay sharp, not lose the edge, work on improvement. How is that working with social distancing? What are you guys allowed to do and not allowed to do?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just mindset. It's realizing that we're all kind of going through this together. I think when you get narrow-sighted and you kind of lose track of things, you think about, oh, how bad this isn't fun and things you're missing out on. Obviously, competition schedule is a little bit weird this summer. I mean, a little bit weird is an understatement, but we're just kind of adjusting to that. I think if you dwell on it, it doesn't do any good, and just to choose gratitude for things that are in your control in all this. I think I've been more looking forward to looking at technique. Normally when I'm competing, I'm competing hard and I'm focused on performing at my best. And right now this is giving me an opportunity to kind of step back from competition and to hone in on some techniques. So that's kind of been my focus and using it as a positive thing.
It's funny because I was going to bring up the word gratitude if you didn't, because I know that's
okay.
a mantra of your guys' program. And it makes sense to try to find, I guess, the silver lining, for lack of a better word, like, well, hey, it could be worse. This could be happening. Stephen Covey has a book, The 7 Habits of Effective People, and one of the habits is sharpening the saw. And to me, that's kind of what you're talking about here when you're approaching the mental or the technique side of it. So how much time on technique are you spending working on things that you're already really good at and becoming great at those? And how much are you spending time on working on things that you feel like you need to improve?
Yeah, I think every practice you're sharpening things that you're good at, and so every time I've been able to, even when I don't have a partner, days, especially early in quarantine when I wasn't lucky enough to be able to wrestle with somebody. I was just focusing on my positioning. So I did a lot of shadow wrestling. I recorded some and posted them on YouTube just because I figured other people were going through the same stuff. And I'm not usually on social media or posting stuff too much. I just thought it was cool because I knew that other people were doing the same stuff and going through it together. So I've been focusing on positioning and focusing on adding new stuff. And like you said, things that we already do well. But one thing I've done in the past is just watch old videos of guys that have had success at college level, and now it's the freestyle Olympic level. So I've been watching some Russians and some past wrestlers that have had some success and trying to pick their brains a little bit just off of YouTube.
It's got, like you're sort of stealing from other people's styles. And, I think a lot of people pattern themselves after somebody they see, like, well, this guy wrestles like I do or looks like I do, or I want to be as good as them, that kind of thing.
Yep.
A lot older than you are, but like I always looked up to a guy like Dave Schultz, who wasn't the best built guy, but was hugely successful, and how he treated people was, probably even a bigger legacy than as successful as he was as a wrestler, even more so as a man. So, you're picking brains and watching video. Does the coaching staff do, like Kale and Cody and Casey, do those guys sit down with you as well? Or is it more like you're breaking it down and then taking it to them and they're telling you this is right or wrong?
Yeah, it's both. I think they've been able to be, they've been able to be like focusing on the technique as well, with all of the quarantine and everything that's been going on. So, we're pretty fortunate that we're it's weird. It's a weird time we're all experiencing where we don't know when we're competing again. And that's a pretty rare thing to have. And so to be able to kind of use that to our advantage, I guess, in some way has been beneficial. I know that's how I've thought about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think you control the controllables, and, you do what you can, and then, you do the best on the stuff you can't. You can't spend a lot of mental or physical energy there. So
Sure.
One of the things you're doing is giving back. You're sharing some of the techniques that have made you so successful, both in folk style and now in freestyle. And, you know, you've made a great transition to freestyle for a guy that had a great skill set that was hugely productive in folk style, especially with your top game and some of those things. It's a little different when a guy can just belly out, you know, as opposed to where he's got to try to get up. So I know you've got, you know, your instructional videos out there, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. But I also know you're doing a seminar this weekend in my neck of the woods with my friend Marcus Hayne here in St. Louis. You know, tell me a little bit about how that happened and why you're looking forward to doing something like that.
Yeah, I think I think Marcus is friends with Nick Lee and just knows him. And so Nick had just mentioned Marcus and kind of got us in touch. And yeah, so I'm excited for that camp. I've never done one where I'm physically teaching, you know, students, and then also it's being televised. So it's pretty rare, and it'll be on, I guess, pay-per-view on Track Wrestling, which is a first for me. I don't know if it's, I think Track Wrestling, I think you guys have done one before or done a few, but
One about a month ago, yeah, with Alex Jeringer. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I'm excited because I know that, again, you guys are making the most of this opportunity that we're in, and trying to just kind of create some normalcy in it. You know, be able to wrestle at home and learn at home. You know, pay-per-view, or if you're able to show up in person, that's also a great opportunity. So I'm excited, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. It'll be different, but it'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. So for people that are interested in this, if they're in the St. Louis area, they can go to nitrotickets.com/OTM, which stands for On the Mat, and you'll find Zane's clinic there. And obviously we broadcast nationally. So if you're around the country and it's only going to be like 2.5, 3 hours, I think we're going to get a lot of your top game stuff and hand fighting stuff and give the kids, excuse me, a chance to ask some questions and meet you and autographs and all that kind of thing. But if they want to watch it, it's on Track Wrestling. The pay-per-view is $14.99. And now I've told a lot of people that, you know, the way to look at this is if they would consider just sponsoring you, like if you were doing a GoFundMe and they would consider donating $15, this is like getting a clinic for free. And, you know, the cool thing about the video is, you know, you can watch it and really study it and that kind of thing. So they can just go on trackwrestling.com and find that. You know, I'm excited that you're coming into town. You know, you had a style that I think wins in a lot of different ways and, you know, kind of puts the fear of God in some people. I'm like, well, I don't want to just pick that, you know, like a lot of guys are automatic, pick down, get your point. That was certainly not the case when they wrestled a guy like you. And that when you're good at that changes the whole mindset of things. So I'm interested in seeing you teach those things, and not only just the physical side of it, but the mental side of it as well. So tell me a little bit about the instructional videos you're doing as well, because I think the clinic will just be sort of a taste of that, right?
Yeah, I'll do at the clinic. I will do some obviously of the moves that I've gotten more in depth. I've done some technique videos, and they're available online at my shop. If you go to zainretherford.com, go to the shop. There's technique videos. I got a top and a bottom series, but they're a little bit more in depth. And if you're looking for maybe an expansion of, you know, what I teach at the track wrestling event, then you can look there. So yeah, and I'll also be teaching stuff that I'm not teaching, you know, at my website at the event. So kind of overlap a little bit. There'll be some new stuff, and both are good. So check those out too.
You give folks a chance to dip their toe in the water and, you know, make a small financial investment and learn from you. And I'm sure those dollars will help support your Olympic dreams and, you know, making the team and qualifying the weight, which, you know, I was fortunate enough to do the World Championships last year, the play-by-play, and that weight class is so fun to watch. There's so many good guys, and a bunch of you guys are all like a whisker apart, you know, like just one brick here, one brick there, and you're either out of the tournament or in the finals. So yeah, for sure. So again, it's zainretherford.com for the videos, and people should know it's Z-A-I-N.
There you go.
We'll spell that wrong. When you have a last name like Mercatano, you're a little sensitive about names being spelled.
Yeah.
RETHERFORD.com.
Correct.
The videos, and then to just check out the seminar, which is this Sunday at 11 o'clock Central Time, 11 Central Time. It's just go to trackwrestling.com and they can just type in the name Zain Retherford and it'll pop right up. So appreciate you carving a little bit of time out for us. I guess we're going to see you in about 3 or 4 days, man. So safe.
Yeah.
Just appreciate you coming on. Anything else you want to give the people before we jump off?
No, just I hope you guys are staying healthy and figuring out ways to train in all this. I know we're all going through it together, and I think we just need to have that mindset that we're going through it together. So I appreciate your time too.
Yeah, it's well said. And I think that's the thing that, people can reach out and understand that, like, there are, I find myself reaching out to more of my friends across the country by phone or Zoom. And I think that's kind of how a lot of us are keeping our sanity. And
Yep.
in these interviews, things like that, talking about wrestling, which is something we both love, is, we can be a generation apart and still find some common ground. So that's really cool as well.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks so much for the time, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll speak to you all next week.